This is my keyboard. I think it's epic and I've always wanted one. But after I got it, the experience wasn't exactly as I envisioned it would be. See, I thought very naively that I would get all of the benefits right away, be more productive, type like a ninja, and get all of the ergonomic goodness in one go. That being said, it wasn't all bad as well. There are some really cool parts about this keyboard as well. So join me as I go over 3 things I learned about the split keyboard, the last being the coolest, of course. I couldn't type on this keyboard to save my life. A few things made typing on this keyboard at first a nightmare. First thing, the keyboard is in half. That means you have to type the proper way. No more visiting the neighbors, they've moved out. The arrangement of the keys is different. Let's take a look at the standard laptop keyboard. You'll see that the keys are kind of diagonal here, or otherwise known as staggered. Now I put this keyboard flat so you can get a better look at this. Now you'll notice that these keys are columnar, which just means that they're straight down in a line. This is an ergonomic feature that's supposed to reduce strain on your fingers and give like a shorter distance for your fingers to travel when you're typing. The problem with this is you have to completely retrain your brain and your muscle memory, and now you have to learn how to type from scratch. And when you go back to using a staggered keyboard again, that also makes typing a little bit tough. I realized I had to practice touch typing. I didn't want to just get ergonomics, I wanted to be more efficient. My typing speed was terrible at first though. For 2 weeks, I wondered if I made the right decision. I had big regrets. Persistence is key though. After 2 months of practice, I felt like I was back to normal. Actually, I felt better. Ergonomics isn't instant. At first, my wrists actually hurt a bit. And that's because your wrists actually need some time to adjust to this new neutral position. I also had another problem. When I was typing normally, my wrists were bent upwards. So I introduced this memory foam wrist support, which some people say doesn't really make much of a difference, but it feels like it does for me, so I don't really care what they say anyways. The next thing to experiment with was tenting, which is just making sure both of these halves are angled upwards to more naturally fit the position of your hands. And you might be thinking, why would you go through all of this in the first place? Well, if you look at the natural positioning of your hands, if you stretch them outwards, and you see that the way they're angled, you'll see that this is designed to fit that natural position. And this is the whole idea of ergonomics in general, just to reduce the amount of strain on your wrist and hands. I'm definitely the kind of nerd for this keyboard. The world of open source keyboards is vast. I was surprised to see exactly how many keyboards there are that you could pick from. This is an absolute monster list of keyboards that you can pick from. You're absolutely spoiled for choice. Mine in particular is this keyboard over here, one by Fustan called the Corn keyboard. I have this V4 hot swappable version. Another cool thing about these keyboards is you can change out these keycaps. Now that's actually pretty standard, but you can also go ahead and change out these switches. As you can see, these are hot swappable, so if you ever have one that is faulty, or if you just want to change out your key switch, then that is possible and pretty easy to do. Now in most cases, these will pretty much be blank keys, but you can have pretty much anything you want. I opted for having these cool anime style keys, but you can have whatever you like. The cool thing about these keyboards is they are completely programmable. You can load the firmware yourself, and there's pretty detailed instructions here of exactly how to do that. And once you load this firmware, you can use software that is either on the PC or on a website, which can help you program what these different keys do. For instance, if we go to one I use quite often, Remap Keys, you'll see my layout is right here. You'll see what I have on my first layer, And these two buttons here represent the two layers that I have underneath my normal layer. Layer 1 being numbers, function keys, etc., and macros. And layer 2 being, which you might have noticed already, my mouse. So if I hold this key down here, I can go left and right, up and down with my mouse. And I can even do things like scroll with the mouse. I can also do other interesting things like change the RGB on my keyboard as well. I can change the hue. I can even change the type of RGB that is running on this keyboard as well. And that is just one example of many things that you do with this keyboard. The sky is really the limit, and you can customize this thing exactly to your liking. There you have it, folks. It isn't all good to start off with, but it isn't all bad either. And at the end of it, I'm happy that I made the switch, and I recommend anyone who has a job where they type a lot to do the same. Your wrists might just thank you for it. Next video is on the right, and if you found value out of that, you know which buttons to press. Thank you for watching, and happy hacking.